if my wife walks away with the, oh, I was wrong in this situation, he was right, she walks away defeated, but I walk away, smiling, go downstairs. Like I said in one of my videos, I go downstairs and I'm happy because, hey, I just won the argument. That's not a real W in relationships. That's not a real W in marriage.
Welcome to another episode where we have a real conversation with real people. Today we have a special guest. He's a content creator. He's a husband, father. Welcome, Ty Buggy. What's going down?
Hey, man. What's going on, man? I'm just glad to be here.
Man, yeah, I appreciate your time, dog. Let's get straight to it. So I mentioned about you being married, right?
Yeah.
So I want to ask you, how do you handle, disagreements without letting ego or pride destroy the conversation?
Well, see, in marriage, in relationships in general, I would say, especially for me and my wife, it's not about proving that other partner wrong. Like, if my wife walks away with the, oh, I was wrong in this situation, he was right, she walks away defeated, but I walk away, smiling, go downstairs. Like I said in one of my videos, I go downstairs and I'm happy because, hey, I just won the argument. That's not a real W in relationships. That's not a real W in marriage. In everything in marriage, especially, you want to lead with compassion, because at the end of the day, the W is walking away with both of y'all are in good graces in the household. Now, I mean, I'm talking just peace in the household. But a lot of times what I see is people lead with their egos in arguments in order to feel like they have one up on their partner. And my question is, what W do you have when you walk away like that? Because now it's an awkward vibe in the house. The kids feel it. Y'all lay in the bed, it's quiet. So with me and my wife, we're real slow to get angry, especially my wife. And as somebody that's from New York, and my parents is from New York, my family they're all from New York. Everybody's real at your throat. So the way I grew up was really seeing adults yell at each other. I seen when I hear disagreements or arguments, to me that equates to yelling. That equates to doors being slammed or somebody driving off, not the healthiest ways, to see arguing. And in my past, I went about it like that myself. It wasn't until this one girl that I was dating, of course, way before my wife, she said to me, she was like, because I said something along the lines of, what's wrong with us disagreeing? She was like, there's nothing wrong with disagreeing. I just don't like the way you say it. And then it dawned on me, because I had a comeback from that. The comeback for that was, well, it's not what I'm saying, it's how I'm saying it. But then I had to think about it. If somebody is talking to me and they say, listen, I hate the way you talk, versus, yo, honestly, sometimes you talk with a real aggressive tone, they're going to get two different reactions out of me, even though they said the same thing. So I take that learned experience into my marriage. It's not just what I said. Nah, I mean, it's also how I say it. Because one thing I never want to do is make my wife feel like I'm attacking her as well. Now, I mean, I don't want to be all in her face, making heavy eye contact, and I'm moving my hands around, just looking aggressive. That's not a place that I want my marriage to ever be. So when it comes to arguments or disagreements, it's all about just understanding that a lot of times we come from different domestications being where we were before we met each other, the way we perceive the world. And a lot of times with the disagreements in marriage and in relationships, it's coming from just two people perceiving something differently. It's not all about somebody stepping on your feet intentionally, know. And when I put myself in my wife's shoes and I consider those factors, it makes me real slow to be angry. So that's pretty much how we handle, disagreements and stuff. It's very much in a monotone. We're just talking it out. And it's so funny because we are the same way in our past. It was like there was a certain way we were about disagreements, but we're very much meticulous when it comes to when we're angry. So you could hear us trying to keep the monotone, like, I just didn't see it like that, but I can see it. We're forcing it, but at the same time, it's working, you know?
Yeah.
So it's something that came with practice, but at the same time, it's very intentional.
No, I could dig that because you know what I'm saying? Like, we both the same age. I think I'm like a year older than you, but we damn the same age.
Yeah, what year you got? What year you got?
I'm 30. I was born in 95.
95, yeah, you got a year on me, man. I'm born 96.
Okay, we damn the same age. But my point I'm saying is, it's like, damn, like, we live in a time where a lot of people would be like, you know what I'm saying? They rather not work through the problems. They just rather just break off and go do them. Or sometimes I can see people who've been married for like 20 plus years. They want to get a divorce. You know what I'm saying? That's wild. But, you know, things happen. And I believe, like, I don't know, maybe the social media plays a role in this, but I don't know. But what I want to ask you is that, do you think the internet is convincing people to break up over problems they could fix? Because a lot of people, they be like, girl,
quick.
You know,
yes.
They be like, yeah, go focus on yourself. Or city girls, they be saying something. Oh, no, not city girl. They'll say hot girl summer. So what's your perspective of that?
Yeah, I definitely think that the internet plays a heavy impact in breakups because the internet makes it seem as if we're gonna find our perfect person. And when I say perfect person, I mean like you're gonna meet this person. There's gonna be zero things that you're like, that's not real life. Right. Remember, just to go back to the whole argument thing that I was just speaking on, when it comes to these arguments, we have to realize that we come from different domestications. So when you meet somebody, you're going to meet somebody that comes from a different world. They see the world differently. So by the time you're in the woods with them, you're laying in the bed with them, they may say something that kind of catches you off guard. Now, I mean, there might be a moment that you're like, oh, I didn't know you do that. But out of understanding that we come from two different places in life, you kind of give them that grace. Social media paints the picture of everybody has to be a complete picture. Now, I mean, and if they show any subtle hints of being anything other than the initial picture that you have, leave. That's not real relationships. That's not real marriage. That looks good on a shade room post. That looks good on a viral TikTok, but that's not real life. And nobody's going to meet any. I have expectations for my kids. I'm talking about the kids that I watch come out the womb. They are going to grow up and still see the world in a different way.
Yeah.
Than I wanted them to see.
Yeah. And then too, a lot of people live in a fantasy world too.
Yeah. It's a lot of, you need to be exactly who I want you to be. You need to be exactly who I'm expecting you to be at all moments. And relationships is not like that, bro. Like when I go into comments and stuff like that, like I was watching a video the other day of this woman that she was extremely happy about being engaged. You go into the comment section and there's people commenting saying, well, some women have to learn the hard way. And you just got to question, why are y'all so quick to promote her finding out something bad? And it dawns on me that the internet, a lot of people that spend a lot of time on the internet, especially the comment sections, these are bitter people. These are people looking for other people to help them feel good about their situation that they're going through currently in their lives. Now, I mean, so a lot of time you got to stay out of these comment sections and tap into real life, you know? So yeah, if you get online and you say something like the woman, she was like, oh, y'all say don't take a man out on a date, but I did that and I got a ring.
Yeah, I see
women in the comments like, you take him out on a date, he might as well be a princess. He might as well be a she. He must be sassy. And it's like, okay, when you put yourself into real life, while y'all sitting here trying to tell this woman that her man could possibly be sassy, when you think about real life, a woman that appreciates her man, she will be happy to serve him. Now, I mean, in return, happy to be like, yo, babe, you always take care of us. My wife, she's done this before. It's not an all the time thing as far as taking me out on dates and stuff, but she serves me through our daily lives. But as far as the taking me out on a date, it'd be like, look, babe, I want to take you out tonight. Now, I mean, it's on me. We go out and it's awkward as hell because I'm not used to her going in her wallet. So I'm like, all right, look, babe, if you gonna pay, at least let me hand over the card, you know, because
Right,
it's a
right.
little weird for me. But
Yeah.
social media would be like, nah, he must be gay.
Yeah,
You know,
but
like
and then too, I think it's their upbringing too, because I like a lot of women never seen their parents. I'll say this, bro. I feel like I ain't no psychologist, whatever you call those type of people,
yeah.
but I feel like when I hear women say that, they upbringing, they never seen a 2-parent household before. They never seen their mother be loved properly. So then they got immature people around them saying these things like, girl, you know, you need him to do this, or vice versa with men, like, no, you need her to do this because of X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? It's
Definitely.
just, I feel like we live in a lot of people are living off from a worldly perspective, and that's why people acting the way how they acted. That's just my opinion.
It's a lot of hurt people giving hurt people advice.
Ooh,
Like when I hear
I feel like,
podcasts, and I always shout these dudes out in my videos,
yeah,
dudes like Fresh and Fit. When you listen to the way these dudes talk about women, a lot of these red pill guys, when you listen to the way they talk about women and act like women serve zero purpose, when I listen to the Shira Sevens of the internet sit here and talk about how you just gotta get a man for his money, get an older man because they most likely on a pension. When you hear these things and you're like, and it's either you're gonna fall on a either you're gonna cry on a bike or you're gonna cry in a Rolls Royce. When you hear these puns and it's so popular, people never ask, well, why do I have to cry? Why are we normalizing crying? Why would I get a girl that is just out there for my money? Why am I'm paying for somebody's life that does nothing for me? Now I mean, and a lot of these signs, and you see this with a lot of the basketball dudes, a lot of the signs be there. Now I mean, they get with these girls solely because they look good and they're splurging on them. Now I'm talking about off the rip, you know what I mean, from the videos we be seeing. And then they be surprised when these girls milk them dry and then be all into the next dude that's ready to splurge on them. Brother, you did not put her through the proper vetting process. And instead of people dialing back and saying, yo, let me kind of sharpen up my knife on my interview process, instead of saying, everybody we hire for this position is going to be bad. So you kind of just got to take the bad with the good. No, I mean, there's going to be things that aren't going to be perfect. Don't get me wrong, but there are non-negotiables that you can make sure are not there, or you can discuss early on. But so many people are leading with their man downstairs and then they get let down and they blame the girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You blame the player for playing you, but you didn't peep the game.
Yeah. And I want to ask you this too, since we on this topic, you know, because what you saying are bad habits that men have, right? So what was the habits that you had to kill to become a husband?
That's a really good question, bro. So one of the biggest habits, I would say, because marriage is a commitment, right? Marriage is you committing to one person and saying that I'm going to commit to this person forever.
Right.
So one of the habits that I had to work on the most. Granted, me and my wife, we were together for a couple of years even before. So it was kind of like I worked on it. Technically, I really worked on it in my single time. And this is what I tell everybody. Your single time is the most important time that you have. Now, I mean, your single time is your single time, right? Just one. It is your time to become one with yourself. So in other words, if I'm going to be with one person, I need to be very comfortable with myself. I can't be out here searching for validation in other women, which means I need to be very comfortable with myself. Now, I mean, because for the rest of my life, I'm saying that I only need a compliment from you. I don't need a compliment from everybody. Whereas us as men, we grow up and the more the merrier. You know, the more bodies you have, the more manly you are.
Yeah.
I had to unlearn all of those ways of thinking and saying, wait, but the more bodies I have, the more possible STDs I'll get. The more bodies I have, the more unwanted pregnancies that can happen. The more bodies I have, the more girls calling my phone, stressing me out, taking me away from the purpose that I'm supposed to be thinking about. So I had to unlearn a lot of the things that we are taught as boys. Now, I mean, and then work on my self-control, because I really believe that people struggle with the thought of being with one person because that self-control factor. And what people don't realize is that when somebody cheats on somebody else, or somebody cheats on you, a lot of times, and I was just talking about it with one of my buddies the other day, we take that so personal.
Right.
But really, that is a character flaw in that person that cheated. If you tell yourself that, yo, I'm going to be faithful to this person, and then you fall short of that, you're at Walmart and you see a fine girl with a fatty, and you can't help but to go over there, talk to her. Now you in the car. Now you on your way to her spot. That has nothing to do with shorty at your house. If a girl does that to you with Dexter St. Jacques, that has nothing to do with you. That has all to do with her not being loyal to herself. Now, I mean, so I bring all of that up because I had to build the side of me that is loyal to me before I can be loyal to my wife. What does that look like? That may look like me saying, yo, for the next 30 to 90 days or whatever, I'm doing cold showers every morning. I don't like it, but I'm gonna do it. Now, I mean, why? Because I made that decision. The character that I'm trying to build is a character that is loyal to me. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing this because this is a commitment I made to myself.
Was it hard though?
Yeah, I mean,
like, I ain't gonna lie,
bro. You talking
bro.
about like cold showers?
No, cold showers. But I'm saying, as far as you said you had to work on yourself and you know, your single time, work on yourself.
Yeah, so I would say this. It was hard because it's so funny you asked me that. That is a great question.
Yeah, because that temptation, that flesh, bro. When you see somebody you like, you're like, damn, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so listen, it happened to me, and this is why I say God does everything like in the right timing, bro. Right. So right before me and my wife met, and anybody could go on Instagram and go see this, I really took off on Instagram, right? And if you go underneath my comments, it's a whole bunch of women, right? I've been on social media since the Vine days. I've had a lot of followers for a long time. And this type of audience was really new to me because I'm used to people laughing. I'm used to people being like, yo, you speaking facts. But now I got a whole bunch of heart eyes to the point, bro, I'll be honest with you, I became numb. I became numb to the compliments. I became numb to the googly eyes. It just like, all right, no, I mean, it became like, all right, there's so many options that I really want to just slow all of this down. Because now, if I don't have self-control, I could really mess this up. Now, I mean, so I bring all of that up because I think God kind of put that social media launch in my path in the right time because it just, I don't know, it numbed me. Like it didn't, that validation really didn't matter as much to me anymore. It was kind of like, I got so many comments. I got so many DMs. Like, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't say that it was really hard for me because at my core, bro, if I'm be honest with you, I've never really been a super Mac daddy that liked having 20 girls on my phone, bro.
I feel
like I'm not really that. I always could, like, or for the most part of my life, I always was the dude that was able to. But in my core, bro, if I'm gonna be real, I really just be wanting one girl. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. And I think when we get to the point where it's like, nah, but I want her and her and her because I can have her. It's kind of like an ego thing that we're trying to feel within ourselves, mixed with the perceptions of our friends. And you just got to sit back with yourself and ask yourself one day, like, is this really what I want, or is this what I think people want from me? Then you start catching your friends not even being impressed by what you do anymore because you've done it so much. So now you're like, man, I'm here over here playing this game. Now, I mean, thinking we all playing the same. Like, bro, this is pointless.
No, so for me, that's how I feel the same way. Like, I want to be married, bro. I'm trying to be like you someday. You know what I'm saying? And like, I personally don't like talking to different women. You know what I'm saying? I don't like sleeping with different women. It's like what you said earlier. Like, it was an ego boost for me. And that's one of the reasons why I'm finna, like, I'm gonna do my best. I ain't gonna be perfect, but I want to practice. If I don't know if it's celibacy or abstinence, they say celibacy and abstinence two different things. But my point I'm saying, I want to save myself a marriage, bro, because like I don't like sleeping with different women, and I feel like if I lay with a woman, I would rather be with my wife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I want to learn how to be more disciplined. And what I want to ask you is like, how
Now,
important?
can I just say something on that real
Oh, go
quick,
ahead.
bro?
Go ahead.
That right there is how you spend your singleness. You become disciplined when the world is at your hand. You become
Yeah.
disciplined when you can do anything, but you choose not to. You do
Right.
not become disciplined once you're in the game. No, you have to go to practice when the stakes are low. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if you're not married, I'm not sure if you got a girlfriend, but if you practice now of just, you know what, nah. Like, yeah, I could go over there, but nah. Nah, I mean, like I've made a commitment to myself when the world is open to you and you're making that decision to I want to be very intentional. Bro, that's when it becomes easy. That's why when I got my wife, it was so easy. Like, I'm gonna tell you another thing that a lot of people don't even know. So me and my wife, we were actually long distance for the first 2 years of our relationship. Now, granted, again, God works in mysterious ways. So he blessed me with a good amount of money at the time. And I was able to travel a whole lot that I ever did in my life and have her fly out here. And,
Yeah.
we was doing the flying thing. But the year prior, I was really just like you. I was working on my celibacy. Now, I mean, I was working on just not saying yes to just anything. You know what I mean? So it became so easy when people ask me, yeah, bro, but how do you go so long without getting spicy? So now this is a whole nother test. And mind you, this is before we're married. Bro, like I kind of already put myself through it. I already put myself through it before we were in a relationship. Before I even knew her, I was already putting myself through it. I was already intentional with my decisions before I knew her. Yeah, I mean, so again, it just takes me back to what you asked me, bro, and that our single time is our time to become one with ourselves. So when we meet somebody, that hopefully they have became one with themselves, and we come together and we could be one together.
I can dig that, bro. So I want to ask you then, like, how important is discipline for a man, especially in a world full of distractions and instant temptation?
I think it's extremely important right now. I feel like I made a video today. It was about No Nut November because it's November now. And
Yeah.
I feel like there are more distractions for I don't even feel like it. I know there's more distractions in our generation than any other generation that has like in our time, I should say, than any other time in the past. So right now, being able to shut off your phone, being able to ask yourself, you're like, yo, why can't I stop watching porn, for an example? Why can't I put this stuff down? You have to be very intentional with your discipline, or you will fall into the comfort box. It's so many things that were being handed comfort. Now, I mean, you don't want to go outside? Okay, DoorDash. You don't have to go outside. You don't want to go to the gym? Okay, well, just stay in the crib. Don't show yourself. You could get you a damn sex doll nowadays. You ain't even got to try to attract a girl. You could get on a damn webcam. You could talk to a girl in the chat. There's so many different things that will stop guys from wanting to go out and be lions. You know what I mean? Even as far as like business, there's so many opportunities online to make money. But people still say, man, I just need to find a way. But then you talk to them, it's like, bro, have you been looking for that way? But not a lot of people have discipline to actually go find it and then stay down for it. So I feel like discipline is very important in today's time because there are so many distractions, so many other places to look at other than the actual purpose that you want to achieve in life.
No, definitely, man. That's something that, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so crazy, bro. Like, and this one girl I was talking to, one of my homegirls, and I told her, like, yeah, I'm gonna give my life to God. I'm gonna start being disciplined, you know what I mean? When I get married. And she was like, it doesn't work that way. It's not a life you're gonna start now. So what you said, bro, makes some sense because it's like I'm starting seeing it now because I feel like, damn, if I can't be disciplined right now in my single days right now, I can't be
That's true.
I can't be that man for my wife. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or I can't be that person that that God blessed me with, not just far as with a wife, but just anything in life. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, it's all about us building our character, bro.
Right.
Like the
right.
military. So I also did 10 years in the military. The military really helped me, bro. Like the military really helped me with, and as far as discipline. And I mean, you can only imagine the measures, the amount of times that you have to say no to your body and just yes to the circumstance. You know, so when I'm faced with a moment that, let's just say, money is looking funny, I have to have that discipline and that character that I've already built. I already have the confidence in this part of my in this part of who I am, my personality, my who I am. Now, I mean, I already had that built to make sure to be confident that I will conquer this situation because I've done it in my single time. So now I'm not sitting here beside my wife thinking about something that I ain't never do before. Now, I mean, I'm not like, I don't know if I fold under pressure. If a dude run up on me and my family, I'm pretty confident. I've trained in boxing before. I'm not going to wait until a dude puts up the deuces and now I'm going to figure out the fight. And it's just like that when it comes to relationships or when it just comes to life in general, bro. So people aren't preparing enough for what life has to throw at us. Instead, they're just masking in comfort because there's so many things for us to just be comfortable.
Do you think, like, someone who hearing this, right? You said, like you had one of the things you had said, you have to prepare yourself, right? So let's say two people together that's unprepared of life situations. Now I'm gonna ask you this totally wrong, but I'm gonna try to ask you the best way I know how. So basically, let's say two people that's together, they unexperienced, I should say, right? And they hold things against each other because of how one person went about it and the other person went about it, right? Do you think they being too hard on each other, where they hold it against them to the point where they be taking it personal, where they like, okay, I'd rather just walk away than for us to handle it? Damn, I don't think I answered that correctly.
When you say hold against, what do you mean? Holding what against?
Okay, so let me use a prime example. So let's say like you experience of holding a hold. No. I'm gonna say this wrong. That's you experience of being responsible. So you know how to hold down a household, right?
Yeah.
But they say a man who never experienced that, he be with a woman and then he mishandling things. He mishandling his money. And mind you, he never was taught these things. Now the woman is holding that against him because it's like, damn, you're not a real man. Like, you watching me struggle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you think that's fair or unfair if a man never experienced that, never was taught those things?
I mean, I feel like it's fair for people to choose who they want to be with. I don't believe that we should fall in love with the possibility of who somebody could become.
Like position-wise.
If she, and you said for what?
You said to fall in love with that potential, you said.
Exactly, for fall in love with their potential. Yeah. Like, because here's the thing, you fall in love with somebody's potential. It's just like falling in love with a girl that's a stripper, but you're not really comfortable with being in a relationship with a girl that's a stripper.
Right.
So you've convinced yourself you're going to get her off the pole. No, bro. And just setting yourself up at that point because, and just to go back to what you just said, you get into this relationship hoping that this person changes. What if they don't? What if this person never changes? Then what?
Right.
Now you're going to be stuck with this person. You should always sign up for the person that you're in a relationship with. Don't sign up for this future version because you may think that in the future, they're going to take a right. If you just do what you do, they're going to take a right with you. Okay, but what if they take a left? This is why their character in the current moment matters. Now, I mean, because if their character in the current moment it doesn't align with who you actually want to be with, you're leading yourself astray. You know what I mean? You're going to lead yourself astray. So as far as the girl that she is not down for his come up or not down for, his possible mishaps, his misunderstandings right now in life, I'm not mad at that at all. Like you can't keep messing up my credit, crashing my car and being like, well, nobody told me.
Right.
Well, brother, man, at some point in time in a man's life, we need to sit down and figure it the hell out. It is nobody's job to put up with our BS because we didn't get it.
Right. Right.
And if you're thinking like that, if anybody that's watching right now is thinking like that, it's time for you to sit down and spend your single time becoming one with yourself and understand these things that you don't know. YouTube is free. Now, I mean, during the time when I first joined the military, I wasn't heavy on YouTube, searching like how to do this, how to do that. But the military taught me a lot of discipline, and it's a lot of things that the average Joe can actually do, because it's just going against what your body, what your flesh is actually telling you to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
And then I want to ask you this, like, what's one thing social media told you about gender roles that turned out to be completely wrong?
Something that social media told me about gender roles that turned out to be wrong. I think that
I got one, but go ahead.
One thing that social media promotes a lot is that because a man works, the woman should cook and clean. That's the traditional way.
Yeah.
But it doesn't add the part of giving the woman a break. The thing about cooking and cleaning and dealing with the kids, that is a 24-hour job.
Right.
My son wakes up in the middle of the night. My son, he's running around during the day. My wife still has aspirations for her life as well. Like, my wife, she wants to tap into content creation herself. My wife, she doesn't want to just sit around and gain weight while I'm working out.
Right.
So giving your partner a break and saying, hey, you need help. Like yesterday, I was walking up the stairs and my wife, she was sorting out the laundry, and it was a lot of laundry, and I just got done recording 2 videos. Granted, I recorded them, edited them, and did my thumbnails and posted them. So I was a little bit, out of breath from talking so much, but it was just like, babe, you need any help? Let me, sometimes she'll be downstairs cooking. I'll go do the laundry. People don't include that part enough. You do not want your partner to be burnt out, because now once she lays down in the bed and it's time for us to talk, she's all out. Now, I mean, she has nothing left for me, and I think when we talk about gender roles, we make it seem like it's so concrete. Like, you cook and clean. The kids just ran in here. Go get them. I had to work today. That's not real life, bro. That may be our primary goal, like our primary job when it comes to our family. Like, I cover all the bills, which I do. Now, I mean, my wife's car, she don't pay. My wife don't know a bill. You know what I mean?
Wait, and so you pay all the bills?
Yeah, I pay all the bills. Like, she doesn't touch no bills. That's just the way I like to roll, though. Now, I mean, but my wife, she cleans this whole house almost every damn week at this point. Like, I'm talking about thoroughly cleaning. Like, I walked in today, I just came back from Walmart and a couple other places, errands that I had to run. Whole house smelling like pine sol. I mean? Stuff is shiny. My son is sleeping. My wife, when I'm doing my morning videos in the morning, she always comes in here, brings me breakfast. Like, she really, she does her thing. You know what I mean? And without my wife being here, it would be taxing on me. Not to say I can't do it, not to say she can't do what I do, but it'll be very taxing if I tried to play her role. The same thing. If she tried to play my role, it'll be a learning curve. So I think the biggest thing is just acting like women have to clean, women have to cook, and that's not enough. And deal with the kids, and that's not enough. That is a lot. I'm gonna say just this last thing real quick, and I'm gonna pass it. My son, my wife, she went to California to go see her family or whatever, and bro, it was me and my son. It was just me and my son. Mind you, my son, he just turned 1 in August. It was just me and my son, bro. I'm talking about son waking up in the middle of the night. He hungry all day. He steady throwing stuff. I go in the shower. He, looking for me. Like, I got to put him to sleep, then ease to the other room. Like, bro, it's a whole thing. I got to work and put him to sleep. Like, so I can't discount the work that my wife does. And a lot of times, to go back to what you said, the internet discounts the part of the woman, or it just discounts that a man should still help. And my wife has also let me know that if I was to fall on hard times, she would help. She would go ahead and get her a job. That is very comforting knowing, that you're not just in this for the money. You're not just in this for the free ride, So, yeah.
No, man, I definitely agree with you on that one. One of the things that I feel like the internet is, I feel like one of the things that internet give people the misconception of, a man can't be vulnerable with his wife. You know what I'm saying? And just like you know what I'm saying? And I be hearing people saying that, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I get it because it's like, you know, you gotta allow her to be in her feminine role. You gotta allow her.
Yeah.
Like, if you mad, go talk to your friends. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you happy, if you mad, still act like you happy. It's just like, I don't think that's healthy. And what I want to ask you is, like, do you believe a man should confide in his wife or keep his struggles to himself?
Listen, brother, marriage is a lifelong commitment, bro. This is my partner for the rest of my life. When you say you're getting married to somebody, you're saying that I want to walk the rest of my life and experience it with you.
Right.
So you mean to tell me I can't have a down moment around you?
Yeah.
Because I'm a man. You know what I mean? And then I can hear the comments now. Yeah, but then she's not gonna respect you, brother. You're with the wrong woman. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm coming home, boo, babe, it's just so hard. I just can't. I'm not saying that. You know what I mean? But there's days where I'm just like, man, this dude today, like, man, he called me and I was just like, man, like, why did I answer the phone? It was a bill collector or family, man, yo, such and such is doing it again, you know, and you got, man, you are your partner's, I don't want to say therapist, but yeah, they're a safe place.
Right.
This is a lifelong thing. The relationships, this is the problem when it comes to a lot of people getting in relationships and marriage and stuff like that. They get in relationships with somebody that's going to be their girlfriend, somebody that's going to be their boyfriend, their husband, their wife. It looks so good in pictures. Before all of that, brother, you have to be best friends with your partner, bro. When I think about my best friend, now I mean, like, my best friend has been my best friend since we was yay high. Yeah, I mean, like, there's been so many misunderstandings in the midst of that. My best friend, it has to be somebody that I can go to. But people are not going through the ringer with somebody, or not even the ringer, because that sounds bad, but they're not going through the vetting process to see, is this my best friend? Now, I mean, my wife our relationship is gonna outlast every single friendship I have right now. Every single one. So I'm sitting here confiding in people my homies is really understanding me and how I hurt possibly and the things that really bother me. But one day they're going to get a family. I'm not going to be talking to them. And then I got to turn and look at my wife and she doesn't understand this side of me. There's a way to vocalize your emotion. Now, I mean, and a lot of times my way is just like, babe, I can talk to you real quick. And I'm just, now I mean,
right.
Such and such happened today. Now, granted, bro, I'm not somebody that likes to get on my soapbox. Because at the end of the day, don't nobody feel bad for you. Now I mean, like, nobody feels bad for you. And this is something the Army told me. It sucks. Talk about it, but go fix your shit. Excuse my French. Go fix it. You know what I mean? Like, don't sit there and just not getting better. And I just don't know what. If you doing that to a lady, I wouldn't be surprised if she loses respect for you. Anybody, your homie will lose respect for you. You know what I mean? If all you do is call and complain, but you're not doing anything to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
That's just annoying in general. But one of the things that my wife did, and I want fellas to pay attention to this early on, bro, because don't nobody want to live like that. Right. You living with somebody that you can't open up to. Early on, when we first met, she was very intentional in asking me how something made me feel. I'm going to give you an example.
Yeah.
I would say something like, I had to leave. I moved to Atlanta from New York after living with my mom for 13 or 14 years of my life. Now, I mean, so it was an adjustment moving to Atlanta, and I had to learn a lot of new things. She would stop me in my tracks and be like, well, how did that make you feel when you moved? Bro, it was very foreign to hear somebody ask me that. Man. What do you mean, how did it make me feel? I just told you what happened. What's the feel part? You know? But I did feel something. It's just nobody cared to ever ask me. She was like this with everything. It was like, and she was very deep into psychology as well. She still is. So she always had like words to just guide me into finding the answers for my own stuff, you know, and just having a woman that is willing to hear that side of you. Cause there's a little boy inside of all of us, you know what I mean? And that little boy don't get talked to enough. So when you have a woman that is like, nah, let me hear from him. you know, and you could still articulate without sounding like a crybaby. Yeah, I mean, when I say a crybaby, like, you know, it was hard and it just, like, bro, you ain't got to do all that. You know, what I mean? Like, get up off the floor, you know, let her know, like, yeah, it was tough. You know, it was times when I was like, I miss my mom. You know, I really want to go back. It was times where, you know, I did cry. You know, I was a kid at the time, you know, and all that. And then how she reciprocates. When you are dating somebody, are you able? This is one of those boxes you got to check. Now, I mean, not that she just got the fatty and she passed the picture text. Now, I mean, or her IG passed the test when you show your bros. Nah, bro, like when y'all sit down on a date, can y'all go like below the surface? Now, I mean, or above the surface, whatever. Like, can y'all get deep with it?
Right.
No, because a lot of us were scared to get that deep. But the truth is, bro, that's what's gonna take you into forever, because you can only mask yourself for so long of hiding and acting like everything is cool. What happens when it's not?
Nah, for real. And that's really my big concern about getting married, bro, because it's like, are you gonna be with me at my lowest? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, are you gonna be with me if I mishandle a situation? Like, I'm not gonna always be perfect, but how are you gonna handle if I unintentionally hurt you?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Shit, cause some like no matter shit, I'm gonna just be straightforward. We all go about things the best way we know how. You know what I'm saying? So me doing that, how you gonna react to that? And I think like a lot of people, man, I don't know, bro. They just
fickle.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. I just feel like they just very spiritual weak, I should say. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they just go off the worldly things, and they comparing social media, then they comparing relationships with their friends, and they be like, you know, from my own experience, like, well, such and such do this and this and this and that.
Exactly.
Well, I'm not that person, so you can't expect me to move. I'm still learning as I go. Like, no book was given to me on how to go about things. Like, I'm in my early 20s. Explain this to this one young female was trying to be respectful, but you know what I'm saying. But yeah, bro, it was just like, man, you know what I'm saying. Like, I'm still like learning my ways, and like, and what I want to ask you, man, like, a lot of men try to lead without guidance. So, how did faith shape you to lead?
Well, they say that a man must honor his wife. I'm a butcher it, as Jesus loved the church. Something along those lines. A man must love his wife as Jesus loved the church. Something along those lines. Bro, this is all from God. Having my wife is from God. Having our circumstance is from God. Being married is for God, bro. I'm not sure if this is exactly the direction you want this to go in, but
go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to go back to even that the you know, the loyalty piece that we was talking about early on.
Right.
When you are married, you are also married to what God wanted. You made a promise to God. Now, I mean, like, there's not a lot of time. Like, you probably done lied in your life, but you lied to like your mama.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you probably lied to your dad. But marriage is a promise to God, you know? And so to do my wife any way other than how God intended me to do, to handle my wife, now I mean, to treat my wife, that is me going against him, you know? And the more I see it like that, it always becomes beyond me. It makes me extremely compassionate. It makes me see a bigger picture, and just to know that God will continue to bless the thing that we are doing, because this is exactly what he wanted for us. So yeah, man, faith plays a huge part. Just having that spiritual connection with my wife, not me being able to, it's so crazy I'm talking about my wife so much, because usually when I talk about my wife, I'm talking to single people, so it's kind of like I feel like I'm bragging, you know, but I'll be wanting to get this stuff off my chest, you know what I mean, because this is good stuff right here, you know what I mean. But yeah, man, just being a part of what God intended it to be, bro, you will understand why a woman is how a woman is, and why a man, when he's walking in his shoes, why he is how he is. We work perfectly together. When we walk she walks in her heels and I walk in my Timbs. You know what I mean? It meshes perfectly together. So just walking in what God intended us to have is amazing.
I can dig that. And what it sounds like, you know, what you had said about, I remember you said something to me, we were talking, and and you had to, I think you said once you learn yourself, you can learn other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And when you said that, bro, that stuck with me, bro, after that conversation, bro. And
yeah.
I want to say thank you for sharing that with me, because it's like, I ain't gonna give you details on I'll give you details privately, but like a little situation I'm going through with this little shorty, whatever, and like I'm having a hard time to forgive, and she is too. And one of the things that will help me to forgive her, to forgive her, is basically learn myself and actually understand that she's human just like I am too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
that's one thing social media doesn't really allow.
Yeah.
They don't really like consider the human aspect, because a lot of times we don't have bad intentions towards that other person, but we are human.
Right.
But that is not an excuse to do people wrong, which is why you got to work towards that aspect of you being human. But it definitely makes you sympathetic, empathetic, compassionate for somebody when you're like, you know what, maybe you didn't try to disrespect me. Like, for instance, me, you know, I'm from New York. I get very passionate. You know what I mean? Recently, I had to start drinking tea for my videos because my chest be burning. Yeah. So it's like my wife, she had to she had to humanize me, you know, if that's a word. Right. But she had to, you know, he's from New York. He's not trying to be, you know, aggressive when he explains what he's saying. He just gets very passionate versus, nah, he's trying to talk to me crazy, or he's trying to, you know, intimidate me or something. And I'm very much like intentional with, all right, talk calm, Boogie. Talk calm. You know, that's Tyreek that she deal with, but talk calm. But every now and then, you know, I start rapping and I'm looking down or I'm looking up and my mind just circling. And you just got to, you know, sometimes you just got to be like, yo, let me put myself in their shoes. How could this be being perceived? Instead of me sitting here beating her with well, it's what I said, not how I said it. Yeah, again, to go back early on. But when you put yourself into her shoes, how would you perceive that? How do you perceive when you're talked to like that? When your pops used to talk to you like that, how did that make you feel? Right. And in everything in life, just to go back to our conversation, the more you understand how you felt in those scenarios or where you're coming from in the things that you do that other people misunderstand, the easier it'll be for you to be compassionate for other people possibly stepping on your shoes by accident. Rather than assuming that everything that somebody does that you don't like was intentional. Walk around taking everything personal. Again, we all come from different domestications. I'm from New York. My lady, she's from Cali. We talk different. Now I mean, so there's a language barrier there. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, definitely. So, definitely. And you know, we're gonna pivot. Why do men chase women who don't want them?
They were very respectful. They were very open with their emotions and how they felt and the things they were willing to do for me. It was very obvious. But for some reason, I would always be interested in the girl in the room that's not looking at me. Like, I see the googly eyes, you know what I mean? But the one that's not looking, it's kind of like, well, there go the mystery. There go the, there go the chase, you know? But what I had to realize is if you're constantly chasing something, you are trying to get something that is running from you. Mm-hmm. So you'll never be evenly yoked. You'll always be convincing because this person didn't show you that they had the same interest in the beginning. And just to go back to your question, because I'll go on a tangent. Okay. Us as men, me growing up, it was always like I gotta prove myself. Now, I mean, when it came to my coach, I had to prove myself. When I wasn't the best, I wasn't the tallest, you know what I mean? When it came to my pops, I wasn't the smartest, you know? So when it came to dating, it was like, if something gave me the reassurance too early, it was like, yeah, I ain't that interested in this. I want something that I gotta kind of prove myself in, which is very problematic. Which is why, again, this takes me back to what we was just talking about of just understanding myself. Because again, I'm winding up with girls that's like, yo, why you giving me so much pushback? Like, why am I dealing with this kind of stuff? How did you get her? You know what I mean? Sometimes we forget how we got the person. How did you get her, bro? You got her by chasing her. You got her by trying to take her out on enough dates so she could finally like you. That ain't evenly yoked. You know what I mean? So that's how I personally was going through those situations. And it wasn't until I told myself, yo, nah. It's so funny, bro, because even when I met my wife, I remember she would give me like signs that she liked me, like it was reciprocated. And there was a part of me that was like, I tell her this all the time, like, there was a part of me that was like, all right, you know, like, it's just like, all right, I ain't feeling it as much as I was now that you, you know what I mean? Now that you giving me the obvious, you know, but again, that oneness that I created in myself, that worked, that understanding that I did in my single time, I was able to see that, to introspect and be like, nah, I'm not operating off of that. And because I went against that and I built that understanding in my single time, I was able to find my wife. You know what I mean? Instead of saying no to somebody that's actually showing me signs of somebody that I should actually be with, bro. So that was my experience.
Yeah, no, I can dig that, bro, because like with myself, bro, like I was like that, bro. I was like degrading my value by chasing after women who don't want me. So when she don't respond back to me, then my ego get hurt or my confidence get low. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I have to learn. Like, bro, I came to that conclusion like damn near like a month ago. Was it a month ago? No, this November. I'm sorry, September.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I had to realize, like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, it took me damn near a long ass time for me to get to this point. I'm 30 years old. You know what I mean? But I ain't want to
Why do you
be
think that was?
Because, bro, just like how can I say this? Like, I use women to boost my ego because I didn't know how to look within myself.
That's real too. That's real.
So I had to do it in an unhealthy way because of peer pressure. My friends, like, I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro. Like, all my guys around me not virgins. I'm still a virgin. You know what I'm saying? So I'm getting made fun of. So like, damn, okay, well, let me go have sex then. Damn, my guy got 10 bodies, only got one, and I'm only 18.
Peer pressure.
Yeah, damn, I got to get my bodies up so I can feel like a man. So like I carried this on to my adulthood, and I'm like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm realizing what you said earlier. You know, it might end up catching something I can't get rid of. Having a baby that I don't want, you know what I'm saying?
That's real.
Yeah, so then I'm like,
pill videos don't tell you that.
Yeah, so that's why I came to the conclusion myself, like, damn, you know what? I want to get married, but how can I be a faithful man? And it's something you had said, bro. It's some real shit. Like, I'm trying to seek validation. I'm trying to seek validation from multiple women. If I can't get it from one woman, like, I need to work on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because like when I was in a relationship, bro, like was she not giving me? I must go find it from another woman.
Exactly.
And I don't like that about myself. That's why I had to really look at myself in the mirror.
And you want to know something, bro?
What?
Well, first off, we got to get to the point where we don't need a validation at all. Yeah, I mean, not just one woman, because what if your woman never gives it to you? Now it's like, and she may not be giving it to you for unintentional reasons. Like maybe she didn't mean it. She didn't mean to look right past your haircut. You know, maybe she forgot. Maybe she was in her head and she was like, "Damn, my man look good," but she never said it out loud. You know, damn, there was another point that you said. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So back to when you think about just the understanding yourself, since you understand that about yourself, about, you know, needing that validation, and if once you get it from her, it's like, all right, I need it from her too, because this creates my persona, this creates my confidence. Now that you understand that about yourself, you got to be very careful when you meet a woman that is constantly chasing validation. You know what I mean? Because you understand how her mind works. Once you meet her, now I mean, you talking all suave, yo, shorty, you look good, you're beautiful, you're all that. You know what I mean? Y'all talking for a while, she gets used to it. You're beautiful, you're all that. Now I mean, gets mad stale in her head. So what does she need? She needs new validation. She needs it from somebody else now. And these are the signs we could pay attention we could pay attention to early on. Like how much? Well, you never compliment me. Why don't you ever tell me my hair looks good? Like, shorty, like you can't see by the actions.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is our 10th date. Clearly, I think you're attractive. You know what I mean? But a woman that and of course, what they post on Instagram, just posting the ass pics, the titty pics, you know what I mean, the shape pics, like all that. Like, what are you doing all that for? You posted every damn hour on the hour of the day. What are you doing that for? Now, I mean, when we pay attention to these things in the beginning, when we're dating, bro, it'll save us a lot of headache. But a lot of us, we are driven by our man downstairs. And then we get deep into the relationship. We're like, yo, how did we get here? Yo, she changed up on me. Shorty never changed up on you. She was like that. She was like that. It's just that it was cute in the beginning, you know?
Yeah. Oh, no. You definitely right. And since we on the woman topic, I wanna ask you this, bro. I came across a clip, and I ain't gonna lie, I was part of the problem, right? You said you mentioned about single women getting slandered, like men, like, you know what I mean, like. So basically, what I'm asking you is, like, you said slander on single women must stop. Why? Why is that? Why do you feel that way?
What context was I saying it in? Do you remember?
I think you was saying, like, you was explaining like single mothers get slandered.
Single mothers, yes.
Yeah. Basically, what you said. Let me rephrase that question. My bad. You said slander on single women must stop. Yeah. Why do you feel that way?
Because my question is, why is there so much slander? Now, I mean, so here's the thing, right? In order for, again, let's go back to the human perspective of all of this. Yeah. Most kids, I even said this on the internet, a lot of kids are not born on purpose. Like, they were not, like, the woman did not get pregnant because a conversation was had over dinner. You know what I mean? I miss my period. It's how a lot of women get pregnant. It's just that in a lot of scenarios, the woman, if they don't wind up being in a relationship, if the woman will wind up walking away with the child. In other words, now, I mean, the guy, he could go ahead and live his life. And this is me putting it from just a human perspective. If she's a dope girl, a very level-headed girl, got pregnant by a guy, maybe even had intentions on being with the guy, it could have been in a relationship with the guy. I'm talking about a good relationship. She was good to him. He cheated. These are real life scenarios, bro. Can we talk bro to bro? Now, I mean, let's talk bro to bro real quick. Dudes be out here moving funny. Women be out here moving funny too. But there are good girls out here that had all intentions on being a family woman. Dude did something. She chose herself and her child and said, nah, I can't deal with you smacking me up. I can't deal with you cheating on me. I can't deal with how you talk to me. And she said, nah, I got to walk away from this. So you mean to tell me that that woman is not worth any value anymore just because she has a kid?
Right.
A lot of us are raised by single moms. We know a single mom that's a dope girl. Right. So when dudes, and mind me for getting passionate with this, dudes will get on the internet and really be talking crazy on single moms, and I'm like, okay, but what about the dad? There's a single dad out there that made her a single mom. There's a single mom out there that made him a single dad. But why? Because there's a kid, now her great character, her understanding of how to be a family woman, her nurturing aspect, all of those things is thrown out the window because she has a kid.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about the responsibility, now that's different.
Yeah, but let me ask you this then. So when the men hear you say that, right, they think like, okay, well, that girl I wanted, she didn't want to give me a chance. She dissed me, and now she went up to go be with dude. Yeah. Now he doing her bogus. Now she's single. Now she want me. What's your response to that?
I mean, is that still a single mom that we're talking about?
You're right.
I mean, that's more of a deciding factor on, do you want to give somebody a chance that dubbed you? That ain't got nothing to do with her being a single mom. You know what I mean? Oh, okay. Her being a single mom and her just somebody that dubbed you in the past, and I mean, and now she want to be with you. Yeah, you all right. You could be like, nah, shorty, I don't want you no more. Like, I don't like you no more. Like, it is what it is. Your circumstance changed. I'm not that attracted to you anymore. But what I'm saying is, just not giving a single mom a chance to me is just wild, because I know a lot of dope single mothers, and they became single moms because sometimes things that were out of their control. Now, do I know some single moms that's out here moving reckless, still moving with they baby daddy and stuff? Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get in a situation where the situation was funny like that. I'll tell you one thing, like, because of course I have I don't know if you know this, but my daughter is before my wife. I had my daughter when I was 19. You know what I mean? So the way I make my wife feel very comfortable in that is I'm extremely open. And brother, man, when I say open, I mean, if my wife want to say, which she has never done, but if she wants to say, babe, let me see your phone and what you and your baby mom be talking about. Here you go. Here. If that's gonna make you feel comfortable, and because this is a foreign thing for somebody, because the part that sucks about dealing with somebody that has a kid, because I've had to deal with it before, is that you cannot tell them to stop talking to that person. But you as the parent, being myself, making my wife feel comfortable, I can do whatever it takes, be very open and transparent with my wife to make her feel comfortable in the situation. Now, I mean, because this is my life. I will not trade my daughter for the world. Last thing I want to say on that piece, bro. Most of the single moms that I know, they were a lot more serious about life early on. Same thing for myself. Like, I owe it up to my daughter. You know what I mean? You got to take life so serious. You got to really, like, they are a lot more intentional on who they date, why they dating. Now, I mean, and they're dating for marriage, you know?
Right.
Now, if you want, but they possibly just want somebody to cover for their kids and stuff. Bro, if you dating a girl that got that type of character, nah. Right. Like, if a girl's on some shit like, I'm not ready for you to meet my kids. You know, I'm not ready for all that or whatever. Let's get to know each other a little bit more first. That's a green flag, bro. Yeah, that's a green flag. But yeah, man.
Yeah, and what I want to ask you, this is like my 2 last questions. Well, 3. I got 3 last questions. First question is, what changed in you the moment you realized you were going to be a father? Because you mentioned you had your first child at 19. So what was that moment when you realized, like, damn, I'm about to be a dad? Because that's scary.
That's a good one. That's a really good one. Man, I was 19 years old. I was 18 years old, 19 when she was born.
Okay.
Man, it was like, all right. So I was in college, bro. Like, I was living on campus. I basically had free housing in my little kid brain, even though I was paying, using financial aid.
Yeah.
I had a chow hall, so anytime I want to eat, I could just go in there and eat. They had a 24-hour. Bro, I had no responsibilities. I would, if I want to go mess with a girl, you know what I mean, there's endless girls on this campus. So it was a moment of, wow, like, life is really about to get real. Like, there's something bigger is coming into my life now. Like, I have to really figure something out. Like, the idea I had in my head of joining a fraternity and just possibly just keep playing ball or whatever. Now, I mean, like, all of those things, I had to start thinking, how am I going to be a dad? I'm a kid myself. So for me, I mean, it took some conversations or whatever with, my pops, my daughter's grandfather.
Yeah.
And I owe it a lot to them of just telling me, like, yeah, you can't just coast through college now. You have to figure something out. So I went through a couple of jobs. I was always a dude with a job or whatever, but I ain't had no money. So I joined the military. I joined the military. I signed my papers, but I didn't leave until like maybe a year later. So in the midst of that time, I had to like get an apartment because I had to leave campus for my financial aid. I basically messed that up over the summer. I was sleeping like on the floor. And I remember my daughter, she would come visit me or whatever. Her mom would drop her off or whatever. She would come visit me, and we're on the floor, like on this little pallet. And bro, it was just like, I have to do something that I'm not comfortable with doing because the purpose is bigger than me. That's where I'm going with all of this. Now, I mean, I got to sleep on the floor because I need my own spot. I can't just run back to my dad's house because it really wasn't that available at the time because of what he had going on. I couldn't run back to New York. Like, this is all bigger than me. And because of that, and this is why I say I owe a lot to, you know, just my daughter, is because I expedited all the processes, bro. I expedited all of the processes of learning money, learning, you know, how to hustle, even though I don't feel like hustling. You know, so a lot of things changed. One of the funny stories though is I remember going to the strip club for the first. No, this was the second time. The first time was in New York with my OGs, and then the second time was, when I say my OGs, my stepdad and my uncle, but the second time was in Atlanta. Now, the strip club in New York and the strip club in Atlanta, completely different. It's completely different.
I can imagine.
Like, the strip club in Atlanta make the strip club in New York look like a circus. Like, just girls in bikinis, just, you know, twirling on a pole, doing what they doing, whatever. In Atlanta, they are literally spreading it open, showing it all, shaking it, slapping it, everything. You know what I mean? And prior to going to the strip club in Atlanta, I heard a lot about it. And as a man, you know, not even as a man, as a young man, I'm thinking like, damn, they're Candyland. Like, we need to go there. I get there, and bro, it was just disgusting to me. It was just like, yeah, this is it. This is exactly why you stay in your daughter's life, to prevent this right here.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So it gave me a newfound respect for women as well. Granted, I still bump my head a lot, but at the same time, I can still see women as, man, that's somebody's daughter. You know, like I could always put myself in, you know, in that father's shoes, that father's standpoint or whatever. So yeah, it built a different level of compassion in me as well. So,
and I want to ask you this too, bro. My last two questions, like, what's one thing men don't talk about enough when it comes to fatherhood?
How confusing it could be sometimes.
Yeah, what you mean?
Men don't talk about how confusing it could be, bro. We're taught to be so masculine and be so hard-shelled, and you ain't supposed to cry. But your kids are gonna cry. But your daughter, she's gonna have random, sporadic, emotional moments, but you don't understand your own emotions to even understand her emotions. You can't beat your daughter down with logic. You can't. You have to sit there and be emotionally aware, have some type of emotional intelligence to understand where your baby girl is coming from. And the same thing for your son. Yeah, I mean, and this is the part where I say it's confusing, because now my son he's only one. Now I mean, so I haven't fully experienced it yet, but I've seen it in my father. You can't parent all your kids the same. You can't. Know what I mean? They need different versions of you. You know, they all like different stuff. So that's where it gets confusing. You know, because I sit here and I watch my dad, and I'm like, you know, I see the way he parents, and my dad was a very good dad. He had to shape shift a lot, you know, to be around my sisters, to be around me, to be around my little brother, to be around my older brother. So it's a lot of adjusting to circumstances, along with being a husband, you know, as a father. But I think the biggest thing, bro, is how I started it, which is just being emotionally aware, bro. You have to be able to understand the emotions of your household, or you would think you're doing everything right, but you really don't understand what the house is asking for. Because essentially, as a man, you want to give the house what the house needs. Your wife, she nurtures what you brought to the house. But you may be bringing everybody to a bigger house, thinking that that's what everybody wants, right? Nah, but you're not emotionally aware enough to see that, nah, she's going to be leaving her best friend. Now, I mean, that's going to affect her in the long run. Now, I mean, your wife just started building in this city. You know, just being able to be emotionally aware, bro, will take a leader very far. Because you also don't want to be coming from a place of just anger because something happened at work. If you remember what we said early on, understanding yourself helps you with all of these things. If you walk in the house, you going off because of something that happened at work. Now your whole house is affected. But you're not emotionally aware to see the impact you have on the house. There's been times, bro, I walk in the house and I'm tired. Now, I mean, I may have been working on my real estate properties or something, and I walk in the house and I'm just, man, I ain't got nothing to say. Everybody's on the same tune as daddy. Everybody.
Yeah.
There'll be another time I walk in and I'm just goofy daddy. Everybody's goofy. My wife dancing, my daughter, she want to dance with me, like just everything. So as a man, you definitely have a heavy impact on the atmosphere of your house. And if you're not intentional or understanding of how you are emotionally, you could be running amok in your house possibly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, definitely. No. That's some that was some gems you usually dropping. Because it's like because I feel like any relationship any relationship, even if you got kids or you in a romantic relationship, the man will be, how can I explain this? Like who you are. I'm trying to make sure this sound right what I'm about to say. Basically, like you being a man, if you always so hostile, your woman gonna be hostile. If you got children, your children gonna be hostile. So that's something that I had to come to terms with too, because like I said, like sometimes like dealing with this individual, like I realized like, damn, if I approach her nasty, she gonna approach me back nasty.
Yeah.
If I want us to have a cool, calm, collective conversation, let me be cool, calm, collective. And I believe that's how you're supposed to be raising children. I don't know. I don't have any kids, but just
that's a fact, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly how you say it, bro. You can control the atmosphere if you're the one that's the most aware. It's kind of like a boxing fight, right?
Right.
It's kind of like a boxing fight. In a boxing fight, the person that is the most aware of the movements that is happening, the consistencies that is happening, they control the fight.
Right.
I mean, the person that has the most emotional intelligence, and they're not just running rampant with their anger. You know, when brothers be like, "Oh, when I get mad, I see red." Well, you'll lose the fight. You know what I mean? To somebody that understands how to fight. If you can control and be aware of your own emotions, you are in control of the atmosphere.
Yeah. No, definitely. No, real talk. Man, this is my last question I want to ask you, dog, because you got a lot going on with yourself. You got real estate, you got all these things. And what I want to ask you is like, how do you balance being a father, husband, and taking care of your mental?
Man, that is a great question, man. So I've learned growing up, we all have hobbies. My hobby was playing ball. Now, I mean, I have learned to love the hobbies that I do. I'm blessed to be able to do YouTube as my hobby and my means of income. Now, I mean, for a portion of my income. As far as spending time with my wife and spending time with my kids, bro, you'd be surprised how much 30 minutes or an hour of undivided attention could really just make somebody smile. If me and my wife, we ain't got nothing to say to each other throughout the day, but we sit down, we watch our TV show for the night at the moment, Orphan Black. Bro, that time that I just spent with her, bro, I could tell she really appreciates it. You know, so now if I have to get up and go record a quick video and it takes me about an hour out of the day, then after that, I bring my son in here in my garage and I'm working out while he's in here to give my wife a break. Bro, it's all about just breaking your day down into a routine. That's number one. Everything in my routine has something to do with what I'm trying to feed. And the people that surround me understand what I'm trying to grow as well. But at the same time, I can't take me away from them in totality. I still have to be intentional of giving myself to them as well. You know, but it's really just that, bro. It's just everybody understanding the program and what daddy is doing. And just sticking to a routine, man. It's what the military taught me. Is what I teach myself now that I'm, headed out of the military. Like this is the routine I've created, bro. Like my routine literally looks like this. I wake up, I take a cold shower. After my cold shower, I read 10 pages of a book. Right now I'm reading
Damn, wait. You take cold showers?
Yeah, brother. You gotta start the day going against your flesh. It sets the tone for your day, bro. Like, it's very uncomfortable. I ain't never got in a cold shower. I was like, ooh, cold showers. Like, I ain't never do that. I get in a cold shower and I'm, all right, let's do this. Yeah. Bro, you be surprised. You're fully awake. Now, I mean, you don't feel lethargic going through your day or whatever, just dragging along. After that, I read a book, feed my mind, go outside. I go for a walk. Now, this was before my surgery because I told you before I'm down bad right now after my knee surgery. But I would go out for a walk, and through my walk, the first thing I'll talk to myself and I'll say, how do you feel right now? No, first I ground myself. I say, what are 3 things that you can smell, 3 things that you can feel, 3 things that you can see? And yeah, I kind of ground myself or whatever, just bring myself present to my walk. And then after that is the how do you feel?
Yeah.
Once I go through the how do I feel and it's very transparent with myself, it's like, okay, are you perceiving that the right way? Do you need to hold on to that? Is that real? Okay, so now after all this whole walk, now, by the time I'm on the street to get back to my house, I'm usually at a point of, okay, what's the plans for the day? Now I go back into the house. I start out by telling you all of this, bro, because it is my routine. When you have a routine, it's a lot easier to balance stuff. But for a lot of people, we're trying to throw stuff on our schedule because it sounds good. No, bro. If you tell yourself every morning I take cold showers, you'll take cold showers. If you tell yourself every morning I walk and I talk to myself to see what's going on in my head, you'll intentionally do that. I spend 45 minutes to an hour working out every single day. I mean, 5 days out of the week, Monday through Friday. Now, that's part of my routine.
Yeah.
I have mad time after I get my work done. I got mad time if my routine consists of nothing but stuff that grows me mentally, spiritually, and grounds me. I have mad time, So just making a solid routine and then making time for the things that really matter at the end of the day, which is family, which is love, which is those that's around you. Yeah, it'll all just fall into place. When you have a routine, your routine has to be purpose driven. Things will just, they'll flow with it.
Yeah.
But your routine is for your purpose, which everybody here benefits from.
Yeah, definitely. No, bro, no, man. You were dropping some gems throughout this whole interview, man. I really
appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it, man. That's all the questions I have, man. And I want to say thank you for taking out the time and on doing this, bro. Because you didn't have to. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you, man.